Welcome to another marvelous episode of College Football Showdown. I am the governor of college football, and with me, as always, is my co-pilot Jalen Wilson. Jalen, this is our 64th episode. Should be the 65th, but it's our 64th episode. It's been, I think, other than the first two episodes, all of this has been during that thing that they call the off season. So you're talking about roughly like 61, 62 episodes during the off season. This has been fun, bro. Like I feel like the off season was a blur, and I guess because it was just so much to talk about this season. But it's prediction time. We're gonna go through each of the conferences. We're gonna go through the group of five and the power four, and we're gonna name who we think gonna win the conference, and then we're gonna talk some college football playoffs. So that's what we're gonna do. May even talk about this Georgia Tech Florida State game a little bit as well. Jalen. Let's get into these conferences. We are going to start with the Mountain West, and we're gonna go with your picks first. Let me know your thought process. I got a graphic, so I'll be clicking, back and forth between the graphic and us. So let's put your graphic up. Mountain West, you got UNLV. Talk to me. What was your thought process behind UNLV?
I just think they're a well-rounded team. They got one of my favorite receivers in college football, and Ricky White. He's really good. I think he has a chance to make a All-American team this season. Okay. I don't know about first team, maybe like second team.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe like second team. You got Jane Thomas, running back, 503 yards, 12 rushing touchdowns, led all freshmen in that category. All true freshmen, that is. Then you got Jacob. Isn't that last name is either Jesus or Jesus?
Okay, yeah,
don't know.
Right.
Texas transfer, Casey Kane, got them two players at wide receiver as well to go along with Ricky White. I feel like that's a good combination. And underrated, they got a right tackle that was all Mountain West last year, and Tiger Shanks, good name by the way. If I'm not mistaken, they're returning 4 offensive linemen from last season. And on top of that, they got my guy Jalen St. John. Well, I'll be forgetting he's on this team, but I just remember him because he's at Mizzou, was recruited by Illinois and all that. But played at Trinity Catholic. Yeah, they got Jalen St. John, a left guard who he didn't make an All Mountain West team last season, but he was good. From what I read, he was like one of the better offensive linemen on that team from the previous season. And then like you got Jalen Dixon at defensive lineman, all Mountain West second team All Mountain West last season, returning again. And you got Jackson Woodward, who was one of the better linebackers. If I'm not mistaken, I read somewhere that the linebacker is supposed to be like one of their better position groups this season on defense at least. So like I feel like they have all the keys to win this conference. Like they got the returner production. They just need to play right on the field, I guess, because the amount of return production that they got is like a big reason why I chose this. Especially returning like 4 offensive linemen.
Yes, that's very important.
Including the guy that was all Mountain West second team. Like he didn't transfer out, surprisingly. You're returning Ricky White, who I forget how many touchdowns. I'm not mistaken, he had like a crazy amount of touchdowns last season. Maybe it was like in the 15 range, something like that. I might be wrong. Bob, I'm like pretty sure he had like well over 1,000 yards and well over like 7 or 8 touchdowns. I remember because I chose him in our draft, our current players draft. Yeah, I just think you like with that, and then you got the return production on defense. It's like I feel like there's a recipe to win this conference.
Wow, so that was a lot. I feel like you gave us great intel. I think there's honestly probably a lot of people with you as far as who's going to win the Mountain West. I feel like it's a few teams that everybody are talking about. I feel like UNLV is one of those teams. I feel like Fresno State should certainly be in the discussion. Air Force, depending on what we get from them this upcoming year.
Has Fresno State always been like a upper tier team in the Mountain West?
Yeah, I feel like it. I feel like and a lot of people are just going with Boise State as well this year.
Yeah,
with what they're able to do. I like the UNLV pick. By the way, explosive offensively. So I like that pick. I'm going to go different. I'm going to go Fresno State. There's a few reasons I like Fresno State. One, I'm a huge believer in a coach, in Jeff Tedford. Mikey Keene, I just feel like it's room for him to put up even more numbers this upcoming season. Maybe get those interceptions down a little bit this season. But they're a team who's just always going to be there. I feel like, and just a team that's just going to always be able to, I don't know, compete. This was this is one of the tough ones because their schedule, they play some pretty good teams this year. So based on their schedule, it was just like one of those things where I felt like, can this team truly, win this conference? I believe they have a date with Michigan this year. Trying to pull their schedule up. Yeah, Mikey King had a pretty good season last season. So 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions isn't too shabby at all. I don't know. Why do you feel like Boise State, for so many people, is the team that they feel like that's going to win the Mountain West?
I feel like a lot of it was like a little bit of a Malachi Nelson and
yeah,
and running back. Why am I forgetting his name? Ashton Genty.
Genty. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of it was that. But I mean, they got a solid team. I feel like they got a good team as well around them. I'm shocked that Malachi Nelson didn't win that quarter or didn't get the starting job. I was actually shocked myself.
It really will take you to a place where you kind of feel like, hey, what's next? What's next for him? Because transferring to Boise State and being the talent that he was coming out of high school, you're like, okay, he's going there for playing time, and that's something that you and I have been huge advocates of. Like, hey, we know that it's nice clout for you to go to this huge D1 school, but like I feel like playing time should be more of a factor than a lot of people make it a factor. But like I said, I like Fresno State. I like Malik Sherrod. He almost had 1,000 yards, almost 170 carries. Had 9 touchdowns last year. So that's the team that I'm going with in the Mountain West. Jalen, we're going back to you. Now we're going to look at the team you have winning the SBC this upcoming season.
Oh, App State. Okay. So for some reason I thought you were gonna say you had App State.
I think this might be the only conference we actually agree on. No, there's another
Liberty
one too. Yeah, there's another one too. Conference USA. So what do you like about App State? I like App State a lot this year, by the way.
Went 9-5 last season. Head coach like Sean Clark. I'm not mistaken. That's the name I got typed down.
No, it's Sean Clark.
Yeah. Because they didn't win the last. Because did you win the conference last year, right? Or they should.
Well, JMU technically couldn't win it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they technically, shout out to my dog D now. So JMU technically couldn't win it because of the embargo. But you know how it is when you first go from FCS to like FBS. You have that like that 3-year thing. But
like their offense is really good. I only got to my notes again. Yeah, Thornton Gentry and Jack Murphy, both returning, both veterans. Thornton Gentry, left tackle, Jack Murphy, senior, on the other side. Their interior offensive line is kind of new. They did get Florida State guy Thomas Schrader, I want to say is his last name, an offensive lineman, at guard, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, their offensive line is kind of new. Their backfield, though, is, I'm gonna tell you this: the backfield is loaded. Their leading rusher, Nate Noel, he went to Missouri, but hey, Kanye Roberts, he's a lead. He's gonna be a lead back in this group.
Right.
And I feel like because last year, if I'm not mistaken, the offensive line they averaged 4.5 yards per carry. They average over that this season, honestly. Even with their interior line being kind of new. Don't forget Joey Aguilar can actually like get busy with the ball as well.
Yeah, I like Joey Aguilar. Like he owns a few season records, and he did in 2023, the most yards ever for App State quarterback, and 37-57 single season passing touchdowns, 33 single season total offense, 4,002 yards single season, 200 passing yard games, 13 completions and attempts.
What really make this offense scary is that they have the top 4 receivers all coming back from that season.
And Caden Robinson, in my opinion, is the alpha, and I think it's
more
for his numbers.
Yards last season, 15 yards per catch, if I'm not mistaken. Then you got tight end Eli Wilson.
Is going to compete, I think, for that 12th spot, essentially, for the college football playoff for the top G5 team. Now, there's another team I also have up here, but they kind of control their own destiny. If you look at some of the good teams from last year, they play a lot of them. Like they play Liberty this year. I was at the game where they ended JMU's run when JMU was undefeated, and they went into Harrisonburg, Virginia, and got to win at Bridgeforth Stadium, one of my favorite stadiums. You know, when we talk about small game day atmospheres, Bridgeforth Stadium is amazing. Like you see them throwing the little things. Like I don't know if you can ever see it on TV, but it's crazy. Their student section is loud. Their band is actually loud too.
Yeah. So from what I read up a couple days ago, like they're supposed to have like a really good secondary. I know Ethan Johnson has been getting like lots of hype at cornerback. Jordan Favors, you got Ronald Clark, and you got Miles Farmer as well. It's like their secondary is supposed to be a lot of hype. The linebackers kind of where like the rocky party is on the defense, but I feel like with the way this offense set up, if their defense is just good enough, the way this offense set up, I feel like this could be a very dangerous team and could put up a lot of points.
Wow.
Like could I ain't gonna lie, they might look like one of the better offenses in the country out of like the group of 5 or group of 4 schools.
Dude, I like that take a lot. I didn't think you would you would go there, but yeah, I like that take a lot.
I was gonna say in the country overall, but then I gotta think like, you're gonna have these other offenses that's like really gonna be
scoring. Oh yeah, you're gonna truly have some juggernauts this season as it pertains to offenses. So we're both in agreement, which me and Jalen don't agree a lot, but we both agree that App State will win the Sun Belt. So pulling back up this graphic, the American. Talk to me about Memphis and why you have Memphis winning the American. This is one of those teams. Like when I look at my college football playoff, I feel my bracket. I feel like one of the teams that can break it. Of course, I know you believe that Ole Miss will break it, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. That the best group of 5 team, it can be argued that it's Memphis, right? So talk to me about Memphis, Jalen.
I mean, I feel like Memphis is always one of those teams where it's like, if they're good enough, they could be like a power, like a power 4 type school. Like we talked about them in the past. Like
we have, and I don't think your take is far off at all.
Yeah, like they could be a solid like power 4 school if a conference wants to pick up a power 4 school. Like if I didn't hit my cord, I'm muting myself.
Nah, you go, bro.
Yeah. So I mean, we're looking at like what the offense did crazy good last year. Finished 6th in the nation in scoring offense, the 14th total offense in the nation. And basically all their playmakers I feel like are back, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. Um, the running game could be better. I'm not gonna lie, the running game could be a little bit better. Every day, I mean, they average like 4.6 yards per carry. They do got Blake Watson, last year, but he's gone now, so it's like okay. Um, Sutton Smith, he's gonna be the running back, and then you got Mario Anderson. If I'm not mistaken, he had a game last year, right? He had a game, or he had a season like that game, season last year. Um, where did he come from? South Carolina. South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. I'm like 80% confident.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I was gonna get Seth Hennigan. Yeah. What he? I feel like he's been really consistent these past couple years as him a starter, right?
Mm-hmm.
79 touchdown passes, 10,000 yards.
That's crazy work.
Yeah,
That is crazy
like
work, dog.
yeah, like he's not really a runner. At least I wouldn't really consider him a runner. I guess he can get you maybe a couple yards, but I wouldn't really consider him a runner.
You could be mobile but not be dual threat.
Yeah, like Rock Taylor, who's going to be throwing to 89 catches, close to 1,000 yards last season. Demir, I'm gonna get this name wrong. Blank, Demir, yeah,
we know who you're talking about.
he led the team last year, 7 touchdown catches. And they attacked the transfer portal like really good. The defense is where things will get skeptical. The defense is where things get skeptical. Chandler Martin is a really good linebacker. He's probably one of the better linebackers I feel like in the nation. I really feel like when it comes to draft time, he should be on some boards.
Right.
Javonte Mackey from Arkansas State, a transfer, he should be big. The defensive line, though, is where they really want to pick things up on defense. If the defensive line isn't there, then this could be a iffy season for Memphis. But I feel like with the offense, like, and it's funny because why I go App State also, like, I feel like their offense is good enough to where it can get them to that title game in the American.
So, who do you feel like is their toughest competition in the American this season? Like, do you feel like we are underestimating Tulane? Do you feel like there's another school we could be overlooking? Because if you look at their schedule, they play North Alabama, they play Troy, then they play at Florida State, Navy, Middle Tennessee, at South Florida. It's gonna be a dynamic game. North Texas, Charlotte, UTSA, Rice, UAB, and then at Tulane to finish out the season. So schedule's not rough. It isn't particularly easy either.
I mean, I feel like it's either Tulane or USF, right?
Like, yeah. And of course, I'm going.
I would probably lean Tulane. I know you're gonna lean USF, but I probably maybe lean Tulane. I know Tulane got that quarterback controversy right now between Kai and Ty.
Yeah, they do that. Did they have they announced their starting quarterback? And
no, I looked it up yesterday.
They got one of the sneakier pickups of the all season. When you think about Williams, USC transfer, I think he's going to get a lot of targets this year. I think he's going to get an awful lot of targets this year. So Tulane could definitely pull a fast one this season. But I'm going USF. I like Alex Golish. I like what I seen out of them last season. I believe their schedule, their road may be a little bit more tough than USF. They play Bethune-Cookman. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Their schedule is rough, bro. But I picked them just because I'm a believer. Alex Golish. I'm a believer and Byron Brown. I'm a believer in Sean Atkins, the first 1,000-yard receiving program history.
Really?
That dude is an elite at anything other than route running, bro. And of course, he could catch the rock, but like he is just always finding a way to get open. But listen to this schedule. They play Bethune-Cookman. They play at Alabama, night game in Tuscaloosa, at Southern Miss. They play Miami. They play Tulane at Tulane, then Memphis.
They're
Like
gonna be Miami.
if they as crazy as that sound. But if you listen to this schedule, you're like, yo, like they legitimately now we picking these teams. It's not regular season finish. It's whoever wins the conference for me is why I pick some of these teams. Because y'all gonna see an ACC team that I pick. You can be like, yo, it's no way they win a conference outright regular season. I'm talking about conference championship. Is how I have USF in and how I have all of my teams in. I believe that these teams will qualify to play in the conference championship and they will win the conference championship. But USF, they have a tough road. But like I said, I love Alex Golish. I love the veer and shoot offense that they run. Their offense is going to look a lot like Tennessee circa 2022 when Alex Golish was the offensive coordinator there and Josh
Yeah, I
Heupel
was
was
just about to
getting.
ask where Golish was from again.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's from because I
He's from
remember he was
Tennessee, and everybody was giving Heupel all of the credit. It was Alex Golish making a lot of those adjustments,
yeah, I
especially
remember
like
he was at
freeing
Illinois.
Jalen Hyatt as much as he was able to free Jalen Hyatt.
Was it Golish at Illinois? Golish is at Illinois. I'm like 98% confident
Yeah,
Golish is at
yeah, yeah.
Illinois.
He was there. So
Yeah.
I just love his trajectory. I'm not sure how long South Florida will be able to keep him, especially if they have another 8 or 9 win 10 season.
Oh, then
Yeah,
he
yeah.
thought
He's
after
probably
name,
gone.
depending on
He's
the
probably
team.
gone. But I also think Jamie Chadwell has put in his time, and we're going to talk about Con USA next. Shout out to Con
I'm
USA.
surprised he didn't get
Always
a.
keep this near me. I was
Oh,
at the
okay.
Con USA Championship last year.
I'm surprised he didn't. Chadwell didn't get like a
He
bigger
he
coaching opportunity.
he should have, because you
I
think
mean,
about what
Coastal
he did at
Carolina success. It didn't
Coastal
get carry over to
Carolina,
Liberty.
and then he did a great job with Liberty. But the marquee G5 guy last year was Kirk Signetti. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So typically there's one or two guys who make the jump from G5, sometimes three, that make the jump from G5 to the power four now, of course. But I think Jamie Chadwell, I think his time is coming. If Liberty has another 10-11 win season, which they should.
Yeah. I mean, we could jump to them right now. Like,
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Con USA. Me and Jalen both have the same Con USA winner.
Caden
And that
Salter.
and that's
Like,
in Liberty. Yeah. What can't you say about Caden Salter? So
yeah.
talk to me about this Liberty team. Quentin Cooley. We were just talking about Jamie Chadwell, who should get a power four job in this upcoming offseason unless they just have a major meltdown. I was talking with Nino about it. I feel like Liberty is almost the like the school you go to make the jump, because we just saw Hugh Freeze get his situation back together and he's recruiting his tail off in Auburn right now and as well. So I'm happy for Hugh Freeze. I mean, it'll be interesting to see where Jamie Chadwell lands after this season. He should get a job. But talk to me about Liberty.
Yeah, I mean, Caden Salter, he's back. I know he flirted with the transfer portal a little bit, but of course he didn't go, which was shocking because the
He
guy
did,
Caden
and I
Salter.
don't think he should have left.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why
not just put up even better numbers this year?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In an offense that fits your play style, Buddy rushed for over 1,000 yards. Got 1,000-yard rushing next to him.
1,089 yards and 12 touchdowns.
Bro. Like I was at 3 or 4 Liberty games last year. Arguably some of the best pyrotechnics in all of college football, with like the flames and stuff after they score a touchdown. It's crazy. But shout out to Con USA. They show us a lot of love. Continue, Jalen.
Oh yeah, Quentin Cooley, still a running back.
And they got a 3-headed monster at running back.
Yeah.
But Quentin Cooley, of
Billy
course, is 1A.
Lucas, right?
Yeah, Billy Lucas, and then they got James Joyner as well.
Yep, he had over 197 yards.
I think James Joyner had over like 200, almost 250 yards with barely any toes.
Yeah. One of the skeptical things is
their schedule's a little tougher this year.
Offensive lineman. He's the only returning starter. Which is fine if you're a power four school.
Right.
Because you can kind of get away with it because you're recruiting those higher level players.
Yeah, you're recruiting high level players and you similar success via the
Yeah.
portal, like how Colorado
Then
was able to shore up their
yeah,
line.
problem with the group of four teams is that they're not able
Mhm,
to replace those guys
mhm,
so easily
mhm.
because they don't get that higher end talent.
For sure.
So then they lost a top target, CJ Daniels.
Mhm.
He went to LSU.
And that's going to continue to happen. How many wide receivers, like we seen it with Jamari Thrash last year, how he left. He was at Georgia State before he went to Louisville. That's going to continue to
Yes.
happen. If you're getting a high target share, we also seen it with was it Elijah Surratt kid that left JMU,
Mm-hmm.
and he's now in Indiana. Indiana is building something
Yeah.
special in my opinion as well.
The only top five, their best receiver is probably gonna be Treon Sibley. He's the
Mhm,
only returning wideout out of like
mhm,
the top five from last season.
mhm.
Um,
Their
although they
offense allows people to get open, bro. Like
yeah.
think about how much you got to watch in an RPO with them.
Yeah.
You got to
I
watch
mean
Salter,
you got Billy
Cooley.
Hanshaw tight end
Right,
still though.
right.
6
And
touchdowns.
yeah,
Last
he
season.
was productive last season, bro. I think Liberty, funny enough, was the first time I was at a game a field goal was made and the ref said it wasn't made. I don't know why that just pop up in my head. It didn't hurt them in that game. But I think it was a game against Middle Tennessee, and Middle Tennessee almost upset them
Yeah. This
last
this
year season in Lynchburg.
this secondary needs a little bit of work from last
It
season.
does it does.
I think the linebackers are okay.
Mhm,
I mean, you got Joseph Carter back. He was the third leading tackler.
mhm,
You got transfer from East Carolina, Taylor Jackson.
mhm,
Then you got Jerome Jolly. So great name, by the way.
mhm. Facts.
Yes, I feel like the defense is gonna be okay.
Mhm,
There's some things to be skeptical on.
right.
But I trust their offense. The defense is like the biggest thing.
Mhm.
Do I have their schedule? Can I pull their schedule up real quick?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Um,
I'll do the same actually.
they
They play
have
some good teams this year, bro.
they have Campbell, first game of the season, then New Mexico State, then UTEP, East
Mhm.
Carolina. They're at Appalachian State.
Yeah, it's tough to go into Boone and get a win, bro. It's
Bye
tough to
week.
go in there and get a win. They
Yep.
they play JMU this year too.
Bye week, FIU, bye week again. I don't like
So
that.
they got they play play idle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is strange.
That's like really some NCAA 14 stuff that need to
Right.
be
That's
gone.
like you schedule yourself to play week 0 and
Yeah.
you got a little situation like that. That's weird, but that should help them heal up though.
Yeah, at Kennesaw State, at home for Jacksonville State, at Middle Tennessee, at UMass, at Western Kentucky, at Sam Houston.
Nah, yeah, they should win the conference again. From what I just heard, that game in Boone will be a good one. And that think about it like this, Jalen. That game could come down to, and this is with no disrespect to Memphis or Tulane or any of the other teams that are going to be fighting for that G5 playoff spot. But that game, think about how much weight that game could hold as far as the landscape of the G5 and what team make the playoff. That Appalachian State and Liberty game. That game's going to be so important. I think that's a game we really need to circle on our schedules because that may decide ultimately who, if both teams win their conference, that may be the game that decides, hey, if App State is able to win at home, I'm going to try to make it down to that game as well. I've been wanting to go to Boone. I have not been to Boone yet, but I'm going to try to make it down to that game. Also, we got a name for our tour this year. We're calling it the Rivalry Road Trip Tour. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that name. We're going to be everywhere. We're going to be in a lot more places this year too. So that's going to be really fun. So let's talk about the MAC. MAC is closing out the G5 conferences. We got two different teams, but I believe we have the right two teams. And the reason I do I believe we had the right two teams is because these two teams just met in Detroit for the conference championship last year. Talk to me about Toledo, and I'll talk to you about Matt Salopek and the Red Hawks. Red Hawks, I'm sorry. Another program who's a friend of the family as well.
Toledo lost a lot. That is the price you pay for being one of the best group of four schools in the country.
We were just talking about it, bro.
It's
the cost of doing business, as they say.
The Quan Finn, Perry Boone, Vinny Scurry, and yeah, the other 4 stars are done. So they got bit by the transfer portal bug.
Yeah.
But it definitely have the best receiving core in the MAC.
Okay.
Jerron Newton. I watched him against Illinois. I knew of him because he was Johnny Newton's brother. I was like, okay, I was like, I don't really know how great he is, but I've heard about him before the game last season. Then he showed up last season. I'm like, okay, yeah, like this dude's really good. Like he's really good. I pay attention to him the rest of the season.
For sure.
Then you got Junior Vandross. Then you got Larry Stevens. Tight end. You got Anthony Torres. Like it's really like I feel like the receiving core is, I ain't gonna say one of the best in the nation, but I wouldn't be surprised that put up some good passing numbers this season.
Okay.
Offensive lines where like I would say I'm like kind of skeptical on. They did get Jacob James from Ohio State. But the offensive line like will be a work in progress. Like it will be some bumps in the road during the season with the offensive line. Defense was like really good last year. Darius Alexander, 300-pound defensive lineman. DeAndre Reagan should be probably one of the MAC's like better playmakers on defense. I feel like he can be a terror on defense. Deshaun Holt. You got Dallas Grant who left, but like Jackson Barrow, like he should fill that void that Gant has left for Toledo. Daniel Bowden, like I think I read his stats right the other day. It was like 94 tackles. Yeah. Secondary, I think, is going to be solid. Now, there's no replacing Quinion Mitchell. Like, there's no replacing him. We all know how like good he was last year and how much his draft like really rose during that Senior Bowl and then like the combine. Now he's in Philly. Yeah, I mean, you look at you still got Maxon Hook at safety. I really think he's going to be good. Tucker Gleason is supposed to be a starting quarterback, at least from what I read. Their schedule: Duquesne, UMass, Mississippi State, Western Kentucky.
Those are some games right there.
Bye week. Then they got Miami. Miami University. Is that Miami of Ohio or is that? It's not Miami University.
No, yeah, that's Miami of Ohio.
Okay. Buffalo, Northern Illinois, Bowling Green, Eastern Michigan, bye week again. Central Michigan and Ohio, and then Akron.
So I still, even with all the production that Toledo lost, I still believe that Toledo and Miami of Ohio are the cream of the crop in this conference.
Yeah.
Can we just take a second to talk about how good Matt Salopek is? And I pray that this kid is in Mobile at the end of the season. 3 straight 100 tackle seasons. He had 143 tackles last year, like 8.5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. Like, the kid is just amazing. I can't even believe I was fortunate enough to interview him last year. This team will be led by their defense, man. It will be led by their defense. Let me pull up their schedule really quickly.
Yeah, I feel like
But
this is a solid team.
they're scheduled though. They got some games, bro. They got to play at Northwestern. That's a game
Yeah,
they
I'm,
can
I'm
win
actually
though.
not hip to like Miami of Ohio.
Cincinnati, they play at Notre Dame. That'll certainly be a loss. UMass at Toledo. Those would be the games. So Toledo may can win the regular season, but I think in a conference championship, neutral site in Detroit, I'm taking Miami of Ohio.
What's so great about, or what sticks out about Miami of Ohio to you?
To me, it's the defense, man.
Okay.
To me, they have a defense that can literally like make plays, play winning football. And I don't know. I just feel like they're just one of the few teams that play like an older style of football. And I don't know. I like them a lot. I think with the production that Toledo lost, based on those schedules, I can honestly say I can't edge them over Toledo just based off of the schedules. But at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to whoever win the conference championship, and I think they can get Miami over Ohio. I'm sorry, I think they can get Toledo for the conference championship. Alrighty, we finished up the group of five. That's the Mountain West SBC, American Con USA, and the MAC. Let's talk SEC ball. Jalen. We have a huge discrepancy here. Talk to me about Georgia.
Kirby Smart is the best coach in the SEC. I feel like the defense is going to be. I wish I knew how Alabama defense is really going to look.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Georgia's defense is going to be the best in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
I love Carson Beck. I love their running back room.
Mm-hmm.
Wide receivers where I'm kind of skeptical.
Especially
I,
with the loss of Ra Thomas,
I
who's no
have a
longer on the
theory about
team.
that loss too.
You
They
think it
didn't
helped?
want to. They didn't want to lose Ra, and I just hit my mic. Sorry, somebody heard that. They didn't want to lose Ra Thomas.
Right.
They would have kept him if the situation wasn't that situation.
Yeah, that situation was bad, bro.
If it was a DUI or something like, they would have kept him because they know the wide receiver.
They got a multitude of UIs on their roster now. So
yeah. Like, it wasn't even no joke that I was trying to point out, but like, if it was something a little bit minor, they would have kept him.
Right. But this is back to
And
back off seasons too.
also, I think if it didn't get such a, if the because the DUIs, the Georgia offseason kind of enhanced it, right? And so I have a theory that if it doesn't get the national coverage that it gets, they keep him because they know the wide receiver. At least I think that, because the wide receiver room is okay. I don't think it's crazy good.
Right.
So I think they really want to keep him, but since it was getting so much publicity and they knew if we keep him, it's just a bad look, especially with all the stuff that's going on in our program in the offseason with how many DUIs and how many players have gotten in trouble already in the past, 3 seasons? That's just my theory.
I don't think there'll be a team in the SEC that goes undefeated. But Georgia's schedules have been something of question, right? It's definitely been something that we've talked about as of late. I don't think that's an issue this season. They play Clemson, and they're considering it a neutral site game, but it's in Atlanta. It's a home game for them. That's gonna be a rough game, bro. I know everybody just want to write Clemson off, But you give Dabo Sweeney all of this time to prepare for one game. I think we're gonna see a decent version of them. Then they play Tennessee Tech, then at Kentucky, right, which will be a tough game. Then they're idle. And Alabama that same week plays Wisconsin, and then they're idle. And then they have to travel to Tuscaloosa to play Alabama. They also play Auburn. They play a team from Starkville and Mississippi State, who I think will be much more improved with Jeff Levy as the head coach. And we may see the best version of Blake Shapen. Then they have to play at Texas. Florida's going to be fighting for their lives. You talking about people's going to be fighting for their job. They have to play at number 6 Ole Miss.
I'm not worried about that one.
I know you. I know you're not worried about that one. But I'm telling you, you need to be worried. You need to be worried about Ole Miss this year, bro. But go ahead, continue to talk about Georgia, because if you look at just the roster construction and not the coordinator construction, but if you look at the roster construction, honestly,
yeah. And then you look at the defense.
Yeah,
and look at the coordinator.
Yeah. You want to look at the coordinator, but they got some dogs, bro. They have some dogs.
I can't tell you how many dogs they got. They got Pete Golden.
They got Pete Golden,
and that man's a mouse.
He's one of 2 defensive coordinators. He's not just the one. He's one of 2 defensive coordinators.
I'm sorry. Him on the coaching staff is a negative. Him on the coaching staff is a negative. Okay, I used to him on the coaching staff is such a negative.
Hey, that's funny as hell, man. So I don't know. I feel like with Ole Miss, it's
difficult if y'all seen their schedule. Their schedule's so weak.
Who, Ole Miss? You think their schedule's weak? Yes. I don't think anybody's schedule in the SEC.
Can't see this schedule is soft.
It's not as bad.
Terry Claw.
It's not as bad as Mizzou's schedule, but they play Furman. They play Middle Tennessee State. They play at Wake Forest. They play versus Georgia Southern. Then they play home versus Kentucky. They start the season all 5-0. Then they go into Columbia, South Carolina to play South Carolina. They play at LSU. They play home against Oklahoma, Arkansas, home against Georgia, Florida, Mississippi State. I like this Ole Miss team an awful lot. And I'm going to go ahead and just announce it now. Ole Miss is my predicted college football champion this upcoming season. I've put a lot of stock into a lot of teams this year. Ole Miss is a team that I'm so confident in. They got a quarterback in Jackson Dart, who's going to be on a lot of Heisman lists. We know he's going to be on our Heisman list. They got a couple options at running back with Bentley, with Diggs, with Parrish. Wide receivers, they got Trey Harris. They got my guy, Caden Priestcorn at tight end. Also got the South Carolina transfer at wide out. Defensively, they was able to they shored up defensively. They was able to get a Walter Nolan, arguably the best player in the portal this past season. They was able to get a person.
It ain't no argument. It Downs.
Okay. We're adding Caleb. We're adding Caleb Downs to the transfer portal.
Yeah, I mean, did he not answer?
The portal was damn near closed when he entered it. He entered it only because of the coach situation, bro.
I mean, did he not answer?
Okay. You want to add the second best player of the portal if you want to go that route. But I'm telling you, Ole Miss is going to win that conference, and I think if they don't win it, the only other team I got stock in is probably Missouri, but I don't think Georgia's going to win it, bro. I just don't think they're going to win it. Alabama will be decent this year, but I don't know. I got a lot of stock on Ole Miss this year. I got K Fear in the building, man. We talking about our conference winners. We're doing our conference predictions right now. We're talking about the SEC. So Jalen's with Georgia. What do you think Arian Smith could be this year, bro? Like we know he got the speed. He got track speed. Can it translate to the field this season? For you think there's an opportunity, right? Well, opportunity not.
Like,
how good is this Carson Beck kid? Will he be the first quarterback off the board in the 2025 NFL draft?
I think Carson Beck's good. I don't feel like he's first quarterback off the board good, honestly.
There's a couple people with our brand that are big on Garrett Nussmeier and big on LSU.
I don't get the Nussmeier hype. I need to see it.
I have to see it, bro.
Yeah, I gotta see him play.
I gotta see it. And they also lost Mike Denbrock, who led back-to-back #1 offenses in the country. you just don't lose, like, everybody pays attention to production, but you also lose a guru as far as a play
Yeah.
caller as well.
I honestly don't like number one quarterback is
Mhm.
cool in
Mhm.
this class. It's okay, but this class is weaker than what last year's class.
Mhm.
On top of like, I feel like it's not Malik Willis and Matt
Mhm.
Corral
Mhm.
class bad,
Right.
but it's not
Matt Corral.
yeah it's not like last year's class
Mhm.
good.
I think we're
Or
gonna.
it's not the previous year with like C.J. Stroud,
Mhm.
Will Levis, Anthony Richardson,
Oh
Bryce
yeah.
Young good. It's not that good. Like it's
Mhm.
somewhere in between those two classes.
Right. Right. I will have to agree with you there. I think things will be interesting in the SEC this year. Is there a dark horse that you kind of been mum on, but you be like, this team could
Not
compete?
really. I feel
Okay.
like it's all like you got the contenders and people that's not contenders.
Okay. And you truly in your heart don't believe Ole Miss is a contender? I think with the late Monty Kiffin, I think you're gonna see a more focused Lane Kiffin than ever, bro. I think he's gonna be locked the hell in this year. I
I
truly
mean,
believe.
they could be contender. I mean, they got the roster too.
Yeah, they got
I
the
just
roster.
don't trust Pete Gold.
You don't trust Pete Golan. And listen, I understand that. They're better. That last year it was much to be desired defensively. This year, I feel like they added the right pieces. They're returning the right amount of production. I think they returned something like 70% of their production. SP plus ranking is in the top 10. AP plus ranking is in the top 10. So it's a team I like a lot. What is their strength of schedule? Strength of schedule is
All right, now,
22nd.
huh? Really?
Yeah, well, everybody in the SEC is top 30. Georgia's strength of schedule is 3. Florida is number 1. I think Florida, we've talked about this before. I think Florida's got the toughest schedule that I've seen in a very long time.
The time to talk about the Big Ten. What's K Fair say?
K Fair said that I'm looking forward to get back against Ole Miss from last year.
Who's K
That
Fair
was
fan of?
he like LSU. That was a thriller last
Oh,
year.
okay.
That was certainly a thriller. But yeah, let's talk about the MAC. I
You
said
mean
the
the
MAC.
Mac?
Yeah. I got Group of 5 on my mind. Let's talk about the Big Ten. Who do you have winning the Big Ten?
I had the Oregon Ducks,
Okay.
Dylan Gabriel. Still got no ones in that running back. Still got like I feel like they just produce running backs, like
Yo,
college running backs.
it's I feel like I'm about to say something that's gonna frustrate a lot of people, bro.
Yeah,
But like where I rank Dan Lanning at for the best coaches in college football, like some people be surprised, bro. Like the moment that Oregon wins a national championship,
he's
bro.
gonna be number one.
Yeah,
I mean, he's number one.
in my opinion as well, what he's been able to do out there, resources are plentiful in Eugene, bro. They're coming to the Big Ten. Now these two back-to-back seasons for Oregon, they didn't finish. They just didn't finish as far as competing for the conference championship.
That's
So
not surprised. That's Oregon fashion.
yeah, so you think that in their inaugural season in the Big Ten,
Yeah,
different style
good
is
offensive line.
to bring your lunch pail to work.
Now,
You gotta
Taj
win ugly
Lupoy.
ball games.
Now, Taj Lupoy is also that Pete Golden variant.
No, don't do that. They were much improved last season defensively. Don't
They
do
still
that, bro.
sucked. They still can't see. They still sucked.
Hey, bro, Jalen just got these guys. He just don't like. I'm the same way. But golly, bro, cut him
Yeah, I
some
mean,
slack, dog. Like it's incremental improvement, bro.
oh man, yeah. Like don't get me wrong. Like, hey,
Mhm.
like I hear Pete going. Hey, Taj Lupoy almost in that same boat.
Okay, I think that's
Like
fair.
Taj Lupoy they just had the same amount of talent as Pete
Uh,
Golden had in the past, but
uh.
Taj Lupoy is dang near on that boat. He's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Um,
Oh, that's a great take by K Fair.
what did he say?
Oregon's either going to own the Big Ten or end up in the middle of the pack, and that would be crazy.
Nah, they're
Based,
1 or 2.
yeah,
In my opinion, they're 1 or 2.
yeah, they're 1 or 2, and we'll have to see. We're
Like
certainly going to have to
got the
see.
wide receivers, Tez
Mhm.
Johnson, Evan Stewart.
Oh,
I hope true freshman from last
mhm,
season, Jerry Dickley, right?
mhm.
I hope he can find a way to make an impact.
Right.
Uh, they got like Kobe Savage. They got a whole bunch of transfers
Mhm.
on that defense. Justin
They
Jacobs is
got, they got
returning
the
at
guy
linebacker.
that I believe is going to win the Heisman this year.
Oh yeah, Dylan Gabriel. Yeah.
And Dylan Gabriel.
Um,
Yeah.
I just feel like they're a good team.
Mhm.
Now it's funny because I talk about Taj Lupoy and I didn't choose Ole Miss, but I chose
Hey,
Oregon.
the Washington fall off is crazy. What's the not Joel Klatt? What's the other gentleman,
Gus
African
Johnson.
American gentleman who does college football content for Fox? He
Gus
just did
Johnson.
100. Say it again.
You talking about Gus Johnson?
No, not Gus Johnson. He does like what we do in our realm. Gus Johnson is an announcer. Joel Klatt is an announcer.
Is it the one that was hating on you?
Yeah, who blocked me and then all of a sudden unblocked me. Yeah, him.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name, but he had a Washington ranked as the 84th best team in the country, dude. That's crazy work, dude. Like, that's wild, but continue.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like it seems either one or two. Now I didn't choose Ole Miss, but I chose Oregon, and I'm skeptical on Taj Lupoy, just how I'm skeptical on Pete Gold. Pete Gold a little bit worse stuff.
Okay. I think it's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, my boy Aaron Henry is also in that same boat. I'm skeptical on him too. And he's a defense, he's Illinois defense coordinator. Anybody else I'm skeptical on? I don't know. Yeah, so
will Oregon win the regular season plus championship, or are you banking on them winning the conference championship?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Yeah.
Both. So they'll win outright and they'll win the regular season. So Oregon has an immense amount of talent, but Ohio State has an immense amount of pressure on them this year because they eliminated excuses, right? That's a business we're in, eliminated excuses. I know Mario Cristobal didn't understand what I was saying by saying that, but we're in the business of eliminating excuses. They eliminated excuses. You just said it. Caleb Downs, best player in the transfer portal. If we gonna consider him, everybody was already signed by the time he was in there. But in my opinion, he's one of the best players in college football. So if he's in the portal, yes, his name has to be there. I was surprised that Denzel Burke returned. I was surprised.
I thought he was gonna go to the draft.
Yeah, I was surprised that JT returned. They're returning a decent amount.
I'm not surprised. He was underwhelming to me. Him and Jack, to me, he's overrated.
Right. And it's crazy he's not in the game this year. But yeah, they returned 65% of their production. Chip Kelly at offensive coordinator. How you feeling about that?
I feel like it's a good fit. Like Chip
Kelly's offensive guy. We're able to get Kenshawn Junkins in a portal. So with him and Travion Henderson, that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy.
Would you be nervous about their third string running back if Travion Henderson he's had some injury problems in the past?
He has.
Would you be skeptical about the third string running back? If he has
I wouldn't be skeptical because I've already seen what Chip Kelly can do with a multitude of running backs. Like we seen him do it with LaMichael James and Kenyon Marner when he was able to spell them the way. To me, it wouldn't be surprising. And this is a Chip Kelly we're talking about. If both of these guys end up with either 1,000 yards or being both close to 1,000.
Oh, you know what? My bad. The third string running back actually might be Caleb. That's stupid.
Oh yeah, I forgot Caleb Downs might be their third string running back.
That's stupid logic.
Bro fighting for a Heisman this year. Clearly, dog. That's crazy. But Ohio State, I feel like if not now, then when?
Third baseman.
Yeah, Ryan Day is under an immense amount of pressure. When we seen Fire Ryan Day trending in 2022, Fire Ryan Day trending in 2023, he went with
that man. Ryan Day just can't steal a base.
Yeah, he initially went and got Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien took the Boston College job after Jeff Hafley left, and then he went to go get Chip Kelly, who did a terrible job in his lame duck period at UCLA. And it's truly not fair for their program the way that he just didn't care about recruiting this past season. But if not now, then when? So that's why I'm going Ohio State. The desperation is at an all-time high in Columbus, and it's either going to do one or two things. Either they're going to completely crumble this year, or they're going to compete and compete.
They're not going to completely crumble. They're not going to completely crumble.
I mean, but what's completely crumbling in your book? What if they lose to Michigan again?
To me, completely crumble is
for a lot of
3 losses, and one of them is Michigan.
Yeah. And if they don't win the conference, if they're one and done in the playoff, the Columbus faithful is not going to be happy about it at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad for Ohio State, win the conference. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm gonna be mad if Oregon lost. I can make the joke to Steves again that I was closer to the national title than Oregon ever was.
Wow. That's facts though.
I actually
That's
did send.
facts though.
I actually took that picture we took at the ACC media
Right,
days. I
right.
saw that,
That's
and I took
funny.
that message.
Hall took those messages and he just won the championship in the Leverett League with Georgia Tech. So
Yeah.
you sending them pictures of the championship and saying y'all never be this close to the championship.
Yeah.
Do
So
I think Caleb Downs can win the Heisman? Well, he asked that question for you, Jalen. Moon asked, do you think Caleb Downs can win the Heisman?
technically, he can.
He, he
Zachary
can.
Franklin can win the Heisman.
Oh, wow. Great pickup by your team.
But does he have a realistic chance? No. It's offensive players. It's offensive players only. So.
Mm. Shall we move on to the Big 12, a conference that we are both credential members of the media are in. We got to vote on their preseason polls.
Yeah, who'd you choose for the Big 12?
So
State, right?
the Big 12, if you remember, I've had a change of heart, and actually Moon helped me get this change of heart. But my change of heart, it was Arizona. I'm going Kansas State now, bro. It's something about the roster that I like. They did lose their offensive coordinator, I believe. Colin Klein, is he with Texas A&M now? I believe he might. I think he is with Mike Elko and company at Texas A&M.
So.
But yeah, looking at Arizona, the Jetfish thing scared me. Arizona is returning 68% of their production. They do have a 59th strength of schedule. But look at that Kansas State. They got a 70th strength of schedule. They're only returning 59% of their production. They got an SP plus ranking of 17. Recruiting class was 57th. But they just have dynamic playmakers like that. Think about the running back room with DJ Giddens and Dylan Edwards from Colorado, who splashed onto the scene as a true freshman. We seen with Manhattan, Kansas, the little apple, what they're able to do with these smaller running backs. We've seen it with Darren Sproles. We've seen what's the kid got drafted to the Cowboys? He's my number one running back heading into 2022.
Wait, what are you talking about? Oh, Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah, Deuce Vaughn. So we've seen the success that Kansas has been able to have with these smaller running backs. And the way that I think they're going to use Dylan Edwards as a specialist, they're going to use him in the passing game. He's going to be an efficient third down back. I like this Kansas State team an awful lot. So like I said, I've had a change of heart. I was going to Arizona to win this conference. I am now going Kansas State to win this conference. Plus, Kansas State is now my most used team on road to college football playoff. And yeah, that's the mile, bro.
So what moved you away from Arizona? Was it the head coaching change?
Yeah, it was a multitude of things. A head coaching change, conference change. It's just a lot of change in that we haven't seen them do it year after year after year. Like, is this a one-off situation? Like, think about it when Arizona lost them first couple games. I think North Feet only lost one game, and that was at USC. They had Delora as starting quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you think about he goes down, then we get the Noah Fafita experience, and it's like, can they do it again? I'm rooting for them to do it. They certainly got the players in that locker room to do it, but to change of a head coach, change of a conference, to go into Big 12 and just going to win it. And Kansas State has been a staple there. Think about it. Think about the teams that have always been in the mix for the myriads of seasons now in the Big 12. Kansas State has been a staple there, and this kid Avery Johnson is unique. He's a special talent, bro. So that's what led to my change of heart. And and that's why I said it's hard to make predictions until the end of fall camp. And when you really have a good feeling about teams, where you start to learn who the starters are. So, but I really love your pick. Talk about your pick on who you have winning the Big 12.
Ollie Gordon, Oklahoma State. They got 4 returning starters from last season on offensive line with Ollie Gordon returning.
Mm-hmm.
Could be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Receiving core might be even better. Like Brennan Presley, had 101 catch season last season. Like
always open.
Yeah,
always open.
Then you got Rashad Owens. He had 63 grabs, and then You got the Design Stribling.
Mhm.
Like,
And they had what Oklahoma State returning what like 86% of their production this season. It's something
yeah,
astronomical, 85, and the only team that has more, I think, in the country is Iowa State, and that's why like now I feel like it's time for Matt Campbell to put up or shut up. Like,
yep.
and I hate to be that drastic. And I really think Iowa State can be a dark horse, and then we all feel like I'm sorry,
UCF.
UCF can be a dark horse in the Big 12 as well.
You got Nick Martin linebacker. You got Colin Oliver linebacker.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I feel like this defense, like secondary, has some strong. Like, you have Kendall Daniels.
Mhm.
Like, he's gonna be the star safety. He had what 105 tackles last season.
Mhm.
Um, Trey Rucker, like
Mhm.
Cam Smith, Corey Black. Like,
He
the
plays a
only,
little bit of nickel.
the
He
only,
plays a little bit of nickel too, doesn't he? Mhm.
yes. The
Safeties who
only,
can do both got futures in the NFL.
yeah, the only thing I'll be skeptical on is like them stopping the run. They struggled last year
Mhm.
stopping the run. So,
Mhm.
but I mean, you look at it, like they got everything. Like they got offensive line returning,
Mhm.
defense line returning. Um,
While the ACC is my favorite conference, I don't think that's no secret to anybody. I think this is the most exciting conference. And Jalen, honestly, and maybe it's because I feel like the tiers, a second tier team could be a first tier team, a third tier team can be a second tier team. Just with all of the reshuffling of this conference, I feel like Big 12 football is going to be a big W this year, and it has been the last 5 seasons. They've had the most one score games than any other conference, and it's just exciting football, bro. So Oklahoma State for you went outright and won championship or won championship?
both.
They won both. Okay.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose regular season and win
And win the
conference
championship. Yeah,
championship.
they were they
Yeah.
were they were there last year
Yeah.
against Texas.
South Dakota State, Arkansas, Tulsa, Utah,
Mhm.
Kansas State, West Virginia. Bye
Mhm.
week, BYU, Baylor, Arizona, TCU,
Mhm.
Texas Tech, and then Colorado.
Okay, I know. K Fair was saying he's a big Colorado fan, and honestly, so are all of us. I know me, Jalen, and Moon watched damn near every Colorado game last season.
I stopped watching after the
After
Stanford
Alec
game.
after Alec Ayo Maynard happened,
Yeah, the Stanford,
Oklahoma
or
State's
it was
last
either
hurrah.
Stanford or
Do you think
UCLA.
Oklahoma State can make it past round one in the playoffs? Question of
Potentially.
the day, huh?
I wouldn't be surprised.
They could, but if they win their conference, they'll probably get a first round bye. Right?
Yeah.
We're talking about automatic bid or at large bid, because at
Well, they
large
get
bid
automatic
they'll probably be
because
going. They'll be going
Group
on
of
the
Four
road.
get
Right? Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Power Four get automatic.
That's it. But I know Moon thinks that Kansas State is going to win the conference. So is he talking about Oklahoma State? That's why I wanted to know exactly what he meant. But yeah, they can make it pass. You think about the leadership that they have, defensively. What's the kid that got that linebacker Martin?
Yeah, Nick Mark.
Yeah, Nick Martin. He's solid. But let's move on to our last conference, Jalen. I'm excited to talk ACC football. And the other day, I was looking and I was doing my research, and of course, Jalen and Moon know I have this special thing that I created, and it's I feel like it's just my special thing, and it's a sheet that I look at all the time, and I have a bunch of different analytics on there. And Jalen, that's when I came to this thought, and you know how at first you're like, okay, I really like the team. I'm there all the time. I think it's the best stadium atmosphere that I've been to, and I've been to some pretty big schools. It was the best stadium atmosphere I've been to. Virginia Tech is going to win the ACC.
Yeah.
They have what the second easiest schedule in the conference, next to Syracuse.
Return production is
They're
crazy.
the returning production is out of this world. The third best returning production in the country. Kyron Jones, must see TV. Tootin as a dog, great wide receiver core. A lot of people talk about Daquan Felton and Jalen Lane, but they forgot about Dre. They forgot about my guy, Ali Jennings. He just got hurt last year, and what he was able to do at ODU, Old Dominion, back-to-back seasons, both made all conference both of those seasons, over 14 touchdowns in both of those seasons. Sound defensively. This team is not going to win the regular season. I'm going to warn you, not going to win regular season, but I think we can get one of those one-off years, like with Pitt, because you look at the last, what is it, 12 years, Jalen, 13 years that
Florida State, Clemson.
yeah, Florida State and Clemson have won a conference other than that one-off that one-off Pitt year. I believe this is a one-off year. Virginia Tech will not win the regular season, but they will be in the championship, and I think they win the championship and will secure one of the top 4 spots. And that's crazy, Jalen. As crazy as that sound, but
It's not if you
yeah, I'm all in. Yeah, but a lot of people not really talking about Virginia Tech, but I'm all in. This is my chips. I'm all in on Virginia Tech as far as them winning the ACC, not outright regular season, but through the conference championship. Who do you have winning the ACC?
It's honestly between Clemson and Virginia Tech. I'm like
Okay.
undecided.
Okay.
Clemson got some things I like and dislike, like Dabo.
Of course.
Transfer portal not using. I'm not a big fan of the wide receivers. I think the defense is going to be good, or at least improve from last season. But K. Klubnik is like the X factor. If he's great, Clemson is going to be good. If he's good, Clemson is going to be good, but they're going to be just good enough.
What's your issue with Florida State? And not that you have an issue with Florida State, but is it the loss of production in the wide receiver room and that running back? Okay.
Yeah. It's lost for the
I have the belief that we're going to see we're going to see the best version of DJU. You can't replace Keon Coleman or Johnny Wilson.
I think you replace Johnny Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, they had 2 big dogs on the outside. I think they kind of shift this year where they got a little bit more speed on the outside. Then they lost Trey Benson at running back. They definitely lost some production. But one thing I know about Mike Norvell and Alex Atkins, who, I mean, after this year, Florida State is able to put, not a 13-0 year, because I don't think anybody going undefeated in the ACC, but they're able to put together another great year. Shouldn't we be talking about him getting coaching consideration jobs? Because he was able to honestly get more out of, these Florida State rosters, and Kenny Dillahan was when he was the offensive coordinator there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the talks for it. Like, I think if their offense has another good season, then he should.
He should get some head coaching consideration. So you're going Clemson. Shout out to Clemson. Clemson is one of those programs who really support what we do, and we appreciate it because there's a lot of programs who have antiquated systems. Like, I look at what we do, the cumulative following that we have. We have a huge following when you add everything up as far as, what with Instagram's going crazy, YouTube is going crazy, Twitter and TikTok as well. But these progressive universities who kind of get it, like, yo, this is the future of the sport. Like, people who are building their own entities and they're getting it out the mud. They're doing it with zero backing. This is the future what we're doing, and we already got a head start there. So shout out to Clemson. Shout out to Mr. Ross and Chandler,
or sports analyst in general.
Say it again.
I said that kind of the future of sports, and now sports analysts in general, like we're sports.
It is. Look how many former ball players are now running their own networks, and they're doing it on their own. They're doing it with zero.
I mean, I guess you could say like numbers on the board. Kenny podcast,
right? Yeah,
but it's like they started from just the fact that Kenny had a fan base on YouTube,
right? And it was just able to translate. So
yeah, like, and you see lots of these Bleacher Report. They be having these NBA, NFL YouTubers on their live apps and everything, or on the apps.
FanDuel is going that route. They went and got is it Kay Adams from Good Morning Football, and she has her own show on there. So this is the future. So these schools don't know how truly appreciative we are, especially ones like Clemson. Like there's people at Clemson, like some of their SIDs. We can text and call them right now, and we get a response just like that. I don't like saying their names because I don't want people bombarding them. But there's some
Michael, you heard them? No, I'm just talking. I just said random name. I just said random name.
Hey, that's funny, man. Shout out to World of Moon. Make sure you check out his platform. Check out
he just had a fire video he released last.
He did, and then he went live today. Moon will actually be traveling Moon is actually going to the first school of the rivalry tour. That's what we're calling our tour this year. It's the rivalry. I'm sorry, rivalry road trip. I keep messing it up. It's the rivalry road trip tour. That's what we're calling our tour this year. So super excited about that. So ACC, you got Clemson winning it all. You said, but if not Clemson, then Virginia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Watch out for Syracuse. I'm not saying to compete for the conference championship, but they do have the easiest schedule. I think Kyle McCord's got an immense amount of chip on his shoulder, and Fran Brown is a head coach I would love to play for personally. So Jalen, we've announced our winners. Jalen, who is going to win the college football playoff this year, and who will be your top 4 teams?
The winner is going to be between Ohio State and Oregon.
Okay. And well, you can give me your list, if your 1 through 12 list if you want, of who those 12 teams that will be making the playoff.
Yeah.
And for anybody wondering, Ole Miss will be winning it all this year. No, you don't even got to guess where I'm at. It will be Ole Miss.
Okay, you know what? If Ole Miss win the championship, I will buy you anything you want that's $200 and under.
$200 and under.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Because we already got a bet that they won't win 9 games, you said, right?
Yeah.
Crazy work. Crazy.
Oh, man. Oregon, UGA, Clemson in that order. Okay, State and number 4. I wouldn't be surprised Oklahoma State finishing above Clemson, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, Ohio State. Number 6, Ole Miss. Number 7, Alabama. Number 8, Penn State. Number 9, Texas. Number 10, Notre Dame. Number 11, Utah, maybe. And number 12, Liberty. Last couple got
you got some honorable mentions? Some people that might be outside looking in, or
not really. Like, I kind of got it was kind of hard with 10 through 11, like 10, 11.
Who would be your final 4 schools?
I think my final 4 schools would be UGA, Oregon, Ohio State, and I got to go I'm going to Oklahoma State.
You going to Oklahoma State? I think my final 4, I'm about to pull it up now. I think I had Ohio State, Georgia, Oregon, and Ole Miss. That was my final 4. So I noticed you didn't even have Ole Miss up there to make the playoff this year.
I did.
Oh, you did?
It was
It was at 7. You got Notre Dame making it?
Yeah, I had them at 10.
How are they going to make it this year?
Having 1 loss. What are you talking about?
Having 1 loss, they're going to make it. So you're going to take a 1-loss Notre Dame team over a 1-loss Big 12 team that didn't make their conference championship?
Why wouldn't you? It's Notre Dame. First of all, Notre Dame gonna get that Notre Dame.
Yeah, they got the prestige. I get
they're gonna get the Notre Dame bump.
They get the prestige. But would you take a 1-loss Notre Dame team over a 3-loss SEC team? I'm not.
Yes, I would. What the heck?
I'm not doing that.
What?
I'm not. So if Bama's 9-3 and they're on the cusp, and Notre Dame is 11-1, Notre Dame will get in over a 9-3 team.
9-3, they're not on the cusp. That's the thing.
Wow, that's not on the cusp. If I think no team in the SEC is going undefeated, you don't think there could be a 9-3 team to get in the playoff? Penn State could be 9-3 this year.
If they're 9-3, they're not getting in.
Wow. So there will be no 9-3 teams in the playoff. We're going to exclude the G5 team, of course. But you're saying there will be no 9-3 team in the playoff. Is that what you're saying? There will be not one 9-3 team in the playoff.
If Penn State and Alabama are 9-3, they're not getting in. It would have to be a situation to where that team is 10 or they're
10-2.
Yeah, 10-2 or
what about 10-3? And they lost in their conference championship.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. You can be 10-2 in the conference championship. Right. You lose, okay, 3-loss team.
So you would still take that 11-1 over 10-3. And you lost in the conference championship. Why Notre Dame didn't have to play in the conference championship?
Yeah, why not?
Out of here, man.
I mean, you're on the same boat. You just made the conference. You just got a conference. That's it. You got a conference.
I don't have Notre Dame in my playoff because they're not in the conference. Listen, me and you had a side conversation with us. Shout out to Rich Clark, the executive director of the College Football Playoff Committee. We talked to him, and you asked him hey, so Notre Dame's only way to the playoff is an at-large bid, right? And what he said while he was on stage, he said, we want that feeling that anybody can make the college football playoff if you're in the conference. You know what I'm saying? Now Notre Dame prestige, they got the docuseries. If they go 11-1, which I don't think they'll go, but if they go 11-1, when we talk about most deserving teams to make the college football playoff, they should be one of the most deserving teams. But I feel like teams who've had to battle and they're in these tough conference, you got a conference like the SEC where 9 out of the top 10 schools play the toughest conference in all of college football. So if a team like Alabama goes 9-3 or 10-3, they are deserving of a college football spot over Notre Dame. That's just if I'm in a committee. Will a committee do that to Notre Dame? No, you're absolutely right about that. But to me, they're more deserving.
Yeah. I guess it all depends on how the season shape.
It does,
because I don't think Florida State was deserving over Alabama last season.
Jalen,
I don't care that Florida State won the conference at all. Yeah. I do not care.
You don't care at all. So, bro, we put a lot of work in. This is episode number 64. This has been fun, bro. Like, I feel like the offseason went by so fast just because of all the content we was able to do. Make sure you guys check us out on any of the podcast listening platforms you are on. Our preferred platform is Spotify because our VODs do go on Spotify. Jalen, tell me something you're thankful for about this college football season as we open up this Saturday.
I don't know. I guess content. I get to make content. But I'm not like, I mean, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, the season's starting. I'm thankful that we get to see new ideas like the 12-10 playoff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking we get to see that experiment.
The old format of this game that we love is gone. But the new one isn't a bad format at all.
Yeah. Can I say one thing for
Go ahead.
It's only 2 blue bloods in college football. It shows you how to figure out who they is.
Alabama is one, and then Georgia's the other.
No, not Georgia. What the heck? They good. They good. They
is it Alabama and Michigan? Alabama, Ohio State?
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
Alabama and Clemson?
No.
Alabama and Notre Dame?
Yeah.
There's only 2 blue bloods in college football, and Ohio State isn't one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clemson isn't one of them.
No.
How?
I feel like
how isn't Clemson one of them?
I don't feel like they are.
Why aren't they?
I look at Clemson. Maybe I don't give.
They got 3 national champions, and they've been dominating. They've been so dominating. It's like everybody just forgets what Dabo Swinney has done in his time in Clemson, South Carolina, bro. How isn't Clemson a blue blood in college football, bro?
It's cool. I don't view them as a blue blood, especially now.
How many conference titles have they won since 2009?
It's ACC. That's almost the equivalent as being as having the Big Ten West as a whole conference.
Clemson not a blue blood. Ohio State not a blue blood.
It's cool. You got a tier below blue blood where
so how many blue bloods are there in college basketball?
Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina, UConn. If there's a team you could think of, I was like, that's it. People say UCLA. I don't know. I'm like, no.
UCLA has to be on the list. How dominant they were, bro. They have to be on the list. I know it's 50 years ago, but they have to be on the list. So Notre Dame and Alabama are the only blue bloods in college football. In your opinion, in your humble opinion, I disagree with that. Clemson is a blue blood, bro. Ohio State is a blue blood, bro.
I'll say definitely not no blue blood. Good, really good traditional team. Traditionally a good, really good to great team, but they're not blue blood.
You should do a video on that premise. You really should. and your comment section gonna be on your head, brother. But I get what you're saying. But two blue bloods in this great sport of ours, you really believe that? Just two blue bloods in this great sport?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a people don't realize it's okay being second. When it comes to these type of things.
So two blue bloods, and Notre Dame's last title was in the 80s.
Yeah,
but they're prestige. I get it, but no, Clemson is a blue blood for me. Their ability to recruit, not even using the portal. What Dabo's done in his time there, they got a championship. What year did they win one in the 80s? They had one in the 80s, don't they? That's tough. I don't know. We gonna leave y'all with that. Jalen, go ahead and shout out all of your platforms and all of that good stuff, and then we gonna get out of here. That's crazy. That's crazy work right there, bro.
Yeah. Check me out on YouTube at Just Jalen. Releasing a video tomorrow about like college football 10 years ago.
Okay. That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. I'm plan to release a lot of videos this year. I gotta tell you about a video idea I got. But I'm gonna tell you about it afterwards. So yeah. So check me out on Twitter, Jalen_Antonio1. That's about all the platforms you can find me on. You can find me on Facebook and IG. I don't really care to use those for real. So.
Hey man, we 2 days away from college football. Monday's episode will be the first, I guess, reaction episode from the weekend. I may do a couple instant reactions because I won't be idle much this year. I'll be on the road an awful lot. I'm still trying to figure out where we're going week 1. We got a couple of ideas, but I'll probably be heading south more than likely. As I always like to say, there are no more victories in a sport that's survived in advance. That's why college football has the greatest regular season. Hey, Jalen, man, I appreciate you, bro. This has been fun. 64 episodes, and by the end of the season, we're doing 2 a week, man. I can honestly see us up in those with some like college football showdown instant reaction joints on a Sunday or something like that. But you all take care, man. Shout out to everybody who was showing love in the chat. We had a lot of people in here today. I truly appreciate that. You all take care.